Hi, everyone. We are Group 2 presenting the case study Innovation Management. So the first task of our group was to define the core processes and describe them a little bit. So you can see them on the screen. First part of the process is to develop the IP strategy, as we have already learned. The development of IP strategy consists of describing IP-related goals and ways to achieve them in accordance with the strategy. The second step is the generation of IP. So this includes systematic and goal-oriented design of IP or development of an IP portfolio to meet also the requirements that are defined within the strategy. Third step is the IP administration. So this consists of providing a reasonable overview of the inventory and ensuring the legal status of the IP required for the use. We move forward to the IP risk management. This consists of identifying and assessing risk situations from own and as well as the third parties IP and defining the appropriate measures to handle these risks. Then we go to the IP enforcement, which involves the identification and adequate handling of the potential IP infringements. After the infringements, we also have the defense of it. So the next step is the IP-related defense. This consists of responding to the attacks made by the third parties. Following that, the process is IP transactions. It includes acquisitions and exploitations of IP and related legal positions, including the design of license relationships. Then not the last one, but almost the last one, the IP reporting. It consists of creating the transparency on IP investments, showing resource allocation and enabling the optimization of the IP portfolio. And the last but not least part of the process is IP awareness raising, which consists of creating appropriate understanding of the economic impact of IP in the business models among all stakeholders. So this is a sum up of the core processes of the IP management. Further, please.
So next, the generation of IP. So we want to have a systematic and goal-oriented generation of IP to defend our unique selling proposition and unique communication position. So we can use patents, and we start by identifying the IP related business elements, as I said, to defend our unique selling proposition, providing an optimum parking experience with an optimum location, space, price, and design. Then we have the stage of the process of processing of invention disclosure, detecting customer relevant features, deciding on intellectual property right application, preparing patent application, and accompanying patent application. And to defend our unique communication proposal, we use trademarks, by identification of the core elements of communication, all the signs that make us distinguishable and different, the shaping of elements to protectability, decision on the application of the rights, then preparation of the trademark application and accompanying trademark application. So next one.
We will talk about the IP administration workflow and its maintenance and how to decide, how to make wise decisions. So this IP administration should be considered as a chronicle job. It should be operated once a year. First, we should update relevant information provided by the IP administrations, and then it's necessary to carry out evaluation. Then we need to report the patents to to be dropped to the product management, and we should also give an opinion whether we yes or no on the product management. It's also quite necessary to create a decision template because we can use it and it's facilitate our workflows. And at last, based on the efforts above, we can make a wise decisions, steering on a committed. So this can be considered, this workflow can be considered as a work decision template. Then after making the decisions, we have 3 branches. First is the patent should be maintained, because the maintenance afterward is also very important. The maintenance should focus on update patent files and dealing with the reviews. And also we should hire some maintenance groups to just have a better service on the maintenance, but this is payable. On the second branch, we focus on the patent family. The patent family should be restricted, and we should update the patent files on the part of the deadline for reviews. So this is also a cost for the company. On the third branches, patent should be dropped completely when we update the patent files on the near the deadline for the reviews. So this will be the end of the process. So this is a part of the workflow for the maintenance of decisions. Then we go to the next page.
Thank you, Stuart. And when it comes to sub-process, then standards sets like every activity or set of activities which use research to turn input into results can be viewed as a process. So that's why the sub-process in the right hand of the slide inputs provide us a process, and that delivers us to outputs. Formalizing these inputs and outputs beforehand will provide us efficiency results and control directly the process. Having certain outputs of the processes we do within the company and acting this expectation will be great benefits on the management side. For example, we see in the trademark section is the application decision. It is an output that the result of the design element input. Any problem experienced in the process that takes place between will have impact on us. Of course, as we mentioned before, good documentation will be necessary for the stage. It will be very important to increase benefits of audits in possible audits. In any error that may occur between these processes, it will allow us to optimize the process with positive feedback. And for the last one, sub-processes can often connect it to other processes. In this case, it is possible to follow the process by continuing the sequence. And I let the floor my colleague.
So in the next slide, we identify the different functions in the company with the IP management process. So on the top of the pyramid, there is the process manager, and we identify the CTO. He will be responsible for the concept and the definition within the company. He will define of the required IP management process landscape and be responsible for the documentation of IP management process. After, we have the process owner, which will be the head of the IP department. He will make the definition of the limit of the IP management process, lead the team for doing the IP management process, creation and development, make the monitoring and the auditing. After, we have the process leader, which will be the IP manager. He will be responsible for planning and implementation of the IP management process and train of the process participants. And at the end of the pyramid, we have the process user. And we identify that it can be the IP manager, the IP administrator, and the service provider that will be responsible to carry out of the IP management process. So I think we can get to the next slide.
Okay, so having explained what we can do with IP and how the processes work, it's important to understand that these processes of innovation and IP management, they are not on an island, they are integrated, and there's a two-way communication between the IP management and the innovation management processes. So in a way, the innovation process is shaping the IP strategy, and the IP strategy is also shaping the innovation management from the start. So we can see here, for example, that in the innovation process ID generation, there will be a direct link also with the IP processes, where the IP process will consider IP landscape analysis, innovation, technical fields, main players, etc. And we'll be communicating this information with the innovation team during the ID generation. Then in the product planning phase, there will be a link between the with the IP strategy development, where, for example, the desired economic effects, the identified customer benefits, and the differentiation USPs will be shaping also the innovation. There will be continuous prior art search to also align with the innovation team in which direction that the development should be going. And then in the development and product design stage, there will be communication with the processes of IP to generate IP according to the USP and to realize the reputation function, for example, through trademarks. Maybe that the IP will be generated of technical IP rights through means of blocking and reserve functions to prevent imitation and substitution based on the relevant technical features relevant to the customer. Also, the design features may be identified at this stage. Now, during the test and validation and the prototyping, there might be there's a big gap here, but I think this is a great stage to also start doing the FTO analysis, which may then be finalized by the time that the product gets to launch. Just to make sure that the product that will be launched finally in the market will have FTO, and there will be no surprises when it gets to the market. Yeah, there's just a few examples how this how these two processes interrelate. Thank you very much.